you can actually use data on missed calls to diagnose and correct issues that your departments or your locations or BDCs are having with answering calls, and then help the managers correct those issues. So for example, look at reports on your call data to see by location what percentage of calls are not being answered. Who are the high performers? Who are the low performers? Where are the real issues that are happening where a high percentage of calls are not being answered? You can then drill into that location and say, okay, what departments are at fault here? Are everyone to blame, or is it really a sales issue or a service issue? You can also look at the days and times when people are calling to say, okay, maybe I'm seeing a high volume of missed calls in my San Diego location in the morning. So people are calling service. It's 8 a.m. We're not staffed properly to answer those calls. So these are insights that you can then use to have a conversation with the dealership managers, the department managers, in order to get them to be properly staffed so that they staff their locations properly to answer these calls. You know these are great leads that are coming in and you're missing them. Let's make sure that you're properly staffed during peak call times and days. You can also let them know that, hey, we're grading you on this. We're making answering these calls a priority. If our location, our department dips below a certain threshold of answered calls, there's going to be a problem. Management is going to come down on us. So making sure that you're letting your staff know that it's important to answer these conversations. And as a marketer, you can stop running advertising or reduce your spend during off hours when no one's there to answer the calls. So that's the data side. There's also a technology side. So there are call routing, call management technologies that you can use from calls that you're driving from your marketing in order to reduce missed calls. The first are IVRs. So if you're not familiar with IVRs, most of us are. Usually when you call a business, it's that automated phone menu that answers for somebody and then asks you why you're calling or where your call should be routed. So for dealerships, for example, it's common to have an IVR that'll ask, are you calling for sales versus service versus parts? And it'll automatically route you to the right location right away so that those people can assist and convert you. Another strategy is ring group routing. So this is the idea that instead of sending a call to a single phone line, you can have that phone call ringing simultaneously or sequentially multiple lines. So for example, let's say someone calls, your IVR answers, the person presses 1 to talk to a salesperson. The ring group routing can then route that call to, let's say, 4 or 5 agents' phones and ring them at the same time. The first person who answers the call gets the call. It's a great way to reduce missed calls because instead of going to one line where it'll end in a voicemail if no one answers, it can ring multiple lines at the same time or in order, and then the person who answers it gets the call.